friends, welcome back to the Avocado Toast Budget. If you're new here, my name is Lexa, and whenever I talk about investing, inevitably the most frequently asked questions that I get are, how much should I invest? Which I have already answered in this video here, but also questions revolving around 401ks and Roth IRAs. Many of us get thrown into adulthood having literally no idea how to navigate the world of investing or what these accounts even mean. Nonetheless, which one is better than the other and what are the pros and cons of both? So in today's video, I want to talk about my opinion of which one is better, the 401k or the Roth IRA, and ultimately which one you should invest in to build wealth and hopefully one day retire.
Just a quick note that this is not financial advice. Don't listen to me. This is my opinion. Don't listen to some random on the internet about investing advice. Do your own research.
Now that that is done, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I want to cover is what is a Roth IRA? IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account, or basically a tax-advantaged account that is separate from your employer. So this means that your employer has nothing to do with your investments or your investment account. You choose everything. You open up the account yourself, you fund it yourself, and you choose the investments. Now for the Roth part of Roth IRA. A Roth account basically just means that you pay taxes on the money going into that account right now, but in the future at retirement, you can take out all of that money and its growth tax-free. So with a Roth IRA, you invest post-tax income or the money that you have earned after paying taxes. This means that you do need earned income on file in order to open up and fund a Roth IRA. Without the taxed earned income, you can't fund the account. There are some exceptions to this, but for this video, we're keeping everything pretty simple. Also, since this is post-tax dollars, that means that you have less money to invest right now than you would if you were investing with money that you were getting before you paid taxes. Because obviously, after taxes get taken out, that is a large chunk of your money that you're no longer able to invest. But there are some things that you want to keep in mind when it comes to a Roth IRA. The first is that there is a contribution limit of $6,000 a year. So if you did want to invest more inside of your Roth IRA than that, you can't. That's the point of a limit. On top of that, there is also an income limit, meaning that if you make more than $140,000, or if you make more than $206,000 with your spouse, if you are both filing taxes together, then you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. My friend actually just recently ran into this problem because her husband got a big raise and promotion last year. They weren't expecting it. They ended up owing a lot in taxes, so they were looking into investing in a Roth IRA, but it wasn't an option because they exceeded the income limit. But a bonus with the Roth IRA is since you are contributing post-tax income, you can take out your contributions at any point in time, even before the age of 59 and a half, without paying penalties and without paying taxes, since you've already paid taxes on that money. However, you can only take out the money that you've contributed, not its growth. So if you have invested $5,000 and over time that turned into $6,000, you could take out the $5,000 if you needed it without penalties or taxes, but you would need to leave in that last $1,000 that it has made on its own. So now let's talk about a 401k. A 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement account, aka the money automatically gets withdrawn from your paycheck and put into that account depending on how much money you've specified that you want to put in there every time. Oftentimes this means that your employer also chooses the investment options that you have available for you to choose from. Now there is something to point out that is a big difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA, and that is that when we are talking about 401ks, 99% of the time we are referring to a traditional 401k. And a traditional account is different than a Roth account. With a traditional account, you save money on taxes now, but you are going to pay taxes on that money in the future whenever you withdraw it at retirement. So right now, you are investing with pre-tax money, meaning that you are not taxed on the money that you're putting into your 401k, which is great because that means that you have more money to invest with now. But that means that at retirement, at age 59 and a half, when you start withdrawing money, you do have to pay taxes on all of it. So not just your contributions, but all of the growth as well. But here are some things to keep in mind when it comes to a 401k. 401ks do have a contribution limit similar to IRAs, except that instead of $6,000, you can invest up to $19,000 a year inside of a 401k. They also don't have income limits. So if your employer offers a 401k, you can take advantage of it. Another bonus that comes along with 401ks is that oftentimes employers will do something called an employer match, meaning that if you invest a specific amount, your employer will match that and put that dollar for dollar inside of your 401k as well. There are some caveats to this. There are usually some rules and restrictions, so make sure that you check with HR to see what your company's rules are about that. You also cannot take money out of your 401k before the age of 59 and a half without paying taxes and penalties. Again, there are some exceptions here, but we are just covering the basics, and generally speaking, it's going to cost you a lot more money to take that money out early. With a 401k, you also are required to start taking money out of it at age 70 and a half. So even if you wanted to just leave that money in there, you can't leave it all in there. You have to start making withdrawals. Since we have covered the basics of a Roth IRA versus a 401k, let's answer the big question that we're all here for, which is, which one is better? Like I talked about, both of these have pros and cons. However, based on how the tax situation works out on both of these accounts, if you are making a lot more money now than you plan on making in the future, and you think that you are at a higher tax bracket now and you'll be paying less on taxes at retirement, it might be a good option for you to focus on putting money inside of your 401k, because you would be saving money on not having to pay as high of taxes now and hopefully paying less on taxes in the future. However, if you are making less money now and you think that you are going to end up having to spend more money in taxes later on, or you will be in a higher tax bracket, then the Roth IRA might be the way to go. Because if you believe that you are paying less in taxes right now, then it's better for you to pay taxes on it now and avoid having to pay those high taxes on the money in the future. Generally speaking, younger people with lower incomes want to focus on Roth accounts, and older people or people who are making more money want to focus on those traditional accounts. However, no matter what, if you have an employer who has a 401k option, and if they have a 401k match, I highly recommend that you take advantage of that match. Invest whatever you need to invest in order to meet the minimums for them to give you that money, because that is money that is owed to you. Take advantage of it. And overall, personally, I actually think having a balance between the two is the best way to go. Because by balancing your investments and taking advantage of tax advantages now and then tax advantages in the future, even if it means that you're just kind of guessing as to what is going to happen with future you and your tax situation, you have got all of your bases covered, which means you have got future you covered. And that is what I am all about when it comes to investing. I want to minimize my risks as much as possible while still earning as much as I can with those low risk options. So when it comes to Roth IRA versus a 401k, generally this is like my order of importance. I want to meet the match to make sure that I get that free money from my 401k, and then I want to max out my Roth IRA and then focus on maxing out my 401k. This is because with my current situation, I see myself probably spending more money on taxes at retirement than I am now, so I would rather pay the taxes now and be able to take out all of that money in its growth tax-free in the future. However, I still want to take advantage of free money if I have availability to do so, so that 401k match is where it's at. And since the Roth IRA only has a $6,000 contribution limit, and if you want to invest more than that, then you can start filtering some of your money into your 401k. But like I have said, this is the basics of those two different accounts, so make sure that you do your own research. You consult a tax professional to decide what is best for you and your unique situation. So that is it for today's video on the Roth IRA versus the 401k. I really hope that you learned something cool. If you want to learn more about saving, investing, and paying off debt and how to finally feel more confident with your money, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and bell notification down below. That way you never miss an upload and you can join our ATB fam. And I will see you all next time. Bye.